Hello, everyone, and thanks again for being here. I'm Alicia, and today I would like to explore this idea of how our psychological wellness is profoundly influenced by our environment. I.e., what I mean is, how is it that our psychological state of being has a direct correlation to our environment, both external and internal? This conversation will serve to bring our attention to various environments and spaces that influences our mental health, such as nature, work, social network, and our homes and other personal spaces. Also, I want to shed a bit of light on the three major sociological perspectives that have shaped our societies and ultimately our behaviors. Thirdly, I will examine the interplay between our surroundings and our psychological state of being. I believe that in order for us to experience living fully well, we need a deeper understanding of how to foster and engage environments that will assist in supporting and enhancing our psychological well being. Having said that, I think that it is essential for us to be aware of both the internal and external environments that shapes our lives. Oftentimes we overlook the internal environments. Internal environments, in my opinion, is composed of the individual, psychological, physiological, socio-cultural, conditioning, and spiritual factors which influences a person from within. These factors may include our attitudes, our mindsets, self talk, and emotions, of which we subjectively have full control of. External environments, on the other hand, include the physical, tangible world and social elements that are external to and interactive with the individual, such as the weather, climate changes, social issues, politics, economy, technology, social media, and other people for which we have little to no influence on. I now want to give a brief reiteration of the meaning of the word wellness. Wellness is a state of being beyond the absence of illness. You see, it is a vital, holistic concept that encompasses spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, and environmental well being for both the individual and society. Here I'm going to touch a bit on the psychology of wellness, which is a multifaceted concept that includes emotional resilience, cognitive functioning, and social well being. Emotional resilience, which refers to the ability to recover from stress and adversity, and is a critical component of mental health. Cognitive aspects such as mindfulness and positive thinking are practices that enhances mental well-being. And lastly, social connections highlights the importance of supportive relationships and their significant impact on one's mental health. I will also, a little later, briefly highlight the environmental and sociological factors and their impact on our mental health. The areas most prevalent environmentally are the natural environment, and we will look at urban versus rural living conditions and their distinct impact. The workplace environment as a place that is supportive and inclusive. Also, our personal spaces, which is one's home, comfort, and safety. Then there is climate and weather that denotes the acronym SAD, SAD. And lastly, the aesthetic and sensory elements in our environment, such as color and lighting or sound. To begin, let's have a look at the sociological impact. Social environments provide cultural continuity and emotional well being, and it refers to the settings and context in which people interact and develop relationships. These environments, they can significantly influence behavior, attitude, and social norms. Some examples that I'm going to touch on a little later in this conversation are: one, the family, which is very critical for early social conditionings, and it teaches various cultural norms and behavior. Secondly, there's the peer groups and friends that influences our attitude and social skills. Then we have the schools that help to build academic knowledge and social standards. There's also cultural norms and values, and that directly influence our identity. I will also touch on SES, the acronym SES. That is our socioeconomic status, which is not only about income or money, but also educational achievements, occupational prestige, and perceptions of social status and social class. There is also community and neighborhood, which refers to the way in which people are connected by some form of commonality, which could be location, common interests, or hobbies. Lastly, there's the media, technology, and digital communities, which include online global communities and platforms. Now, I want to expand a bit on the environmental impact. Natural environment has a profound impact on our psychological wellness. When we are exposed to nature, it reduces stress, anxiety, and depression and enhances mood and cognitive functions. Having access to parks and green spaces in urban areas that promotes relaxation and physical activities that will contribute to better mental health. Conversely, the built space and living conditions of urban environment versus rural communities can either enhance or detract from psychological wellness. See, the urban areas, they offer social and cultural opportunities, but can also increase stress due to noise and crowding. Environmental stressors such as noise and fire trucks and pollutions and poor air quality significantly affect mental health. Chronic noise exposures can lead to stress and cognitive impairment, while poor air qualities impact brain functions and contribute to mental health issues. Yet, it is much in as much as poor housing, overcrowding, and noises all contribute to stress and anxiety, it is important to note that there are well maintained and safe neighborhoods within urban environments that do promote a sense of security and pride. Rural areas, they offer a peaceful and serene environment that is ideal for seeking a break from the hustle and bustle of city life. However, the tranquility can sometimes lead to feelings of isolation due to fewer social interaction and community events. Additionally, the geographical remoteness often result in limited access to mental health services that makes it challenging for residents to receive timely support. Consequently, people in rural areas may face difficulty in addressing mental health issues effectively. Now, to talk a little bit more about the work environment, when supportive and inclusive, where employees feel valued and recognized, that can improve job satisfaction and mental health. In contrast, a toxic workplace characterized by high stress, lack of recognition, lack of empathy, and poor interpersonal relationships that can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and burnout. Job security also and favorable working conditions, that also is critical for mental well-being, while of course unemployment and poor working conditions increase psychological instability. Next, being aware of personal spaces is essential for psychological wellness. Having a comfortable and safe home environment that promotes good mood and reduces stress. Where there is cluttered spaces in your home, that will increase stress, while a more organized space do promote a sense of calm. There's also the climate and the weather that have a psychological effect as well. There is the acronym SAD, which means seasonal affective disorder, and it is known to affect mood and energy levels at certain times of the year. While there's also something called climate change related eco anxiety, which includes feelings of helplessness and concern about the future. Often overlooked is the aesthetic and sensory elements in our environment that influences mood and energy level. This can be color and lighting, for instance. They can evoke specific emotional responses. Whereas natural light is, is known to improve mood and productivity, while certain colors can have calming and stimulating effect. Also, pleasant soundscapes such as bird songs or flowing water that can also promote relaxation, while harsh sounds may increase stress. Now, to have a look at how social environments can significantly influence psychological well being and create a sense of belonging to a community and cultural continuity. Supportive social network enhances resilience and mental health, and it also provides emotional support and stability. These environments, they provide a unique context for social interaction and can shape an individual's experience and social development. From a sociological perspective, socialization plays a critical role in shaping behaviors, attitude, and overall psychological well-being. The family environment is critical for early socialization, teaching norms and behaviors that shape personalities and psychological development. There's peer groups and friendships that influences attitudes and social skills. With positive interaction in that area, it enhances self-esteem, while the negative ones will lead to social anxiety. Schools also play a key role in environment for social learning, providing academic knowledge and social norms. The school climate and teacher student relationships significantly impact one's mental health. To move along, there's cultural norms and values that also shape our psychological well-being. Societal norms and cultural values influence one's identity and behavior, which directly affect our self-esteem and mental health. Being exposed to diverse cultures, especially in multicultural metropolises, can enhance empathy, of course, and cognitive flexibility, but it may lead to cultural clashes if not well managed. Socioeconomic status, SES, significantly affect access to resources and opportunities, with lower socioeconomic status often being linked to higher stress and mental health issues. Moving along, it is well documented that communities and neighborhoods with strong social cohesions and support networks can enhance resilience and psychological well being. Safe and clean neighborhoods do promote security, pride, and reducing stress. Social media and technology are another area that are increasingly influential in shaping of perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors. Positive media contents can inspire, educate, and provide support, such as this channel, while negative contents can harm mental health, as unrealistic portrayals can lead to body image issues, anxiety, and depression. There is also a growing alarm of the excessive use and addictive quality of social media, cancel culture, and cyberbullying that has become a global epidemic. Here are three major sociological theories and strategies influencing both individuals and societies, which consequently have a direct impact on sociological wellness. Sociology, by definition, is the study of social life, social change, and the social causes and consequences of human behavior. It is an investigation of the structures of groups and organizations and society and how people interact within these contexts. It is also important to note here, by contrast, yet somewhat overlapping, psychology is focused on the understanding of the individual, the human mind, and its function, especially those affecting behavior and given in a given context. The following three sociological theories offer a framework for comprehending the socio-environmental impact on our psychological well-being. By examining these theories, we can gain insight into how various social and environmental factors influence mental health. It is my hope that their combined relevance will highlight the importance of understanding this complex relationship. This understanding can guide us in addressing the challenges posed by our surroundings on psychological well being. Ultimately, it aims to foster healthier individuals and communities by acknowledging and mitigating these impacts. These three theories are namely structural functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionism. Structural functionalism emphasizes the stability provided by social structures. Conflict theory basically highlights the stress and alienation caused by inequality, and symbolic interactionism is going to focus on the meaning and interpretations individuals attach to social environments. Structural functionalism is a sociological perspective that views society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote stability and order. This theory emphasizes that social structures and institutions such as family and marriage and education and religion, they serve essential functions that contribute to the overall stability and functioning of society. These social structures, they provide the framework within which individuals interact and develop. For example, the family structure, it offers emotional support and sociological and socialization, where teaching norms and values that shape personalities and psychological development. The educational system is not only to impart knowledge, but it also instills social norms and behaviors necessary for functioning within a society. It is well noted that disruptions to these structures, such as family breakdown, failing educational system, loss of faith, or economic instability, they can lead to stress, insecurity, and mental health issues. For instance, children from disrupted family environments, they may experience attachment issue or behavioral problems. Similarly, an unstable job market can cause stress and anxiety due to job insecurity. The second theory is conflict theory. Conflict theory was developed by Karl Marx, the philosopher and poet, as some of us have come to know recently. He focuses on the power, on this idea of power dynamics and inequality in society. It His theory argues that society is actually characterized by ongoing conflicts between different groups competing for limited resources. This perspective highlights how social, economic, and political inequalities can lead to tension and conflicts. Conflict theories suggest that Inequality and power imbalance can lead to feeling of stress, alienation, and mental health problems. For instance, individuals in lower socioeconomic groups, they may experience higher levels of stress due to limited resources, limited access to resources, opportunities, and social capital. This inequality can also manifest in various forms, such as poor living conditions, inequality, inadequate healthcare, and limited educational opportunities, all of which can negatively, of course, impact mental health. Moreover, uh, there's a sociological term called social stratification and visual inequality, which can lead to feeling of injustice and resentment, hence contributing to social tensions and psychological distress, which of course is impacting mental well-being. Social stratification basically refers to how a society characterizes its people into groups based on socioeconomic factors like wealth and income and race, education, in ethnicity, gender, occupation, social status, or social and political powers. Individuals who perceive themselves as minorities or marginalized or oppressed, they may experience chronic stress and a sense of helplessness, which may foster mental health. Our third theory is the symbolic interactionism, which is quite a unique way of viewing the world and society. Symbolic interactionism, basically developed by sociologists George Herbert Mead and Herbert Blumer, they emphasize the importance of symbols and meanings in social interactions. This theory focuses on how individuals create and interpret the world around them through interaction with others. It this theory suggests that society is constructed through human interpretation and the meaning that people attach to objects, events, and behaviors. A good example or good quote of this theory is the quote by Aeneas Nin. I believe I'm spelling that right or pronouncing that right. If I am wrong, I apologize. It's Anais. The last name is Nin, Nin. Nin. His quotation reads, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." Here, I think this quotation sort of represents the idea of symbolic interactionism that highlights the subjective nature of social realities and how individuals' perceptions and their interpretation can influence their mental state. For example, um, the meaning attached to social roles, relationships, and personal achievement can significantly impact our self-esteem and self and identity. In this view, the environment influences psychological well-being through the meanings and interpretations that individuals ascribe to it. A person's home, their workplace, and their community can evoke feelings of safety and pride or belonging, contributing positively to their mental health if they perceive it that way. Conversely, environments that are perceived as threatening, isolating, or stigmatizing can lead to anxiety, depression, and low self esteem. Uh, Here's another quotation that I've thought a lot about by Ernest Holmes, and it reads, "Change your thinking, change your life." I pondered upon this quotation and I'm wondering, is this quote some sort of a subjective truth, or can it be interpreted within this theory as an uh, objective truth? You think about that as I also continue to think about it. Also, want to include here something that the great Nelson Mandela teaches us in his memoir, and he writes, the first obstacle we must overcome is our own mind. When our environment is contrary to everything good and just. I'll say that again. The first obstacle we must overcome is our own mind when our environment is contrary to everything good and just. It would appear that Nelson Mandela was alluding to this theory of symbolic interactionism. At least that's what I think. My final thoughts are, by considering these three sociological perspectives, we can gain a comprehensive understanding of the complex interplay between environment and mental health, and thereby work towards creating structures that support and enhance psychological well being. It is well researched as objective truth that our environment profoundly shape our psychological well-being, weaving a complex tapestry of influences that affect every facet of our mental health. By us examining these sociological perspectives, we gain a multifaceted understanding of how we are influenced by our surroundings. As we aim to improve psychological well being, we need to embrace a comprehensive approach that considers these diverse factors. By enhancing community engagements, by promoting social justice, by designing supportive work environments, and by encouraging positive media use to promote media literacy and support supportive online interactions that mitigate negative impact, we can achieve our goal. These approaches are vital strategies to foster environments that are inclusive and flexible, to enhance and support mental health, to improve individual well being, and building more resilient and thriving communities that buffer against stress. Ultimately, the interplay between our environment and our psychological wellness underscores the interconnectedness of our social systems, physical surrounding, and mental state. By understanding and addressing these intricate relationships between the sociological aspects of our environment, we can create supportive space that improves psychological wellness. Through intention and mindful actions, we build a society where people can thrive in a healthier, more equitable environment, free from the pressures of environmental stressors and inequality, ultimately enhancing the well being of both individual and the community as a whole. This is all that I have for today. I want to thank you for your attention. I hope that you did find value in this subject and material. Until next time, be well.